Welcome back to USA Recall Alerts. Today we're covering an important new recall that has just been issued in the United States, and this one is serious. It involves a popular cheese product, Brie Royal Faucon, and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has classified this as a Class 1 recall, which is the highest level of risk. That means there is a reasonable probability that consuming this product could cause serious health issues or even death. This is not the kind of recall anyone can afford to ignore, especially for families, pregnant women, and elderly individuals. So let's dive into the full story and what you need to know to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. On August 14, Frommy USA, a company based in New York, voluntarily recalled a limited amount of Brie Royal Faucon due to potential contamination with Listeria monocytogenes. Then on August 28th, the FDA stepped in and classified this recall as Class 1. That is the most severe classification the FDA can issue. It is reserved for recalls in which the risk of serious adverse health consequences is high and immediate. In other words, this isn't a minor labeling error or a simple quality control issue. This is a recall that directly affects consumer safety. Listeria is a bacteria that most people have heard of, but not everyone understands how dangerous it can be. For young children, elderly people, and those with weakened immune systems, Listeria can cause severe and sometimes even fatal infections. For pregnant women, the risks are even greater, with the possibility of miscarriages or stillbirths. Even for otherwise healthy adults, Listeria can trigger dangerous conditions when the infection spreads to the nervous system, leading to headaches, confusion, loss of balance, and convulsions. These are not minor health problems. These are potentially life-threatening outcomes. Now let's talk about the product itself and what is impacted by this recall. The specific cheese being recalled is Brie Royal Faucon in 1 kilogram packages. The lot number associated with this recall is 615. Only 12 cases were distributed, but even such a small number can put consumers at risk if the contaminated product makes its way to households. Distribution happened through Cheese Plate Park Slope LLC in Brooklyn, New York. From there, it was cut and sold to customers at Cheese Plate Brooklyn, including both the Park Slope and Carroll Gardens locations between July 24 and August 13. So, what does this mean for consumers? If you purchased Brie cheese from those specific shops during that time frame, especially Brie Royal Faucon lot number 615, you need to take immediate action. The FDA's guidance is clear: do not consume the product. Instead, return it to the place of purchase for a full refund. Even if you haven't experienced any symptoms, it's better to be safe than sorry. The recall was initiated because the cheese's foreign manufacturer was informed by its own health authorities that the product could be contaminated with Listeria. To date, as of August 14, no illnesses have been reported in connection with this cheese. That is good news, but it does not mean the risk isn't real. The FDA lists this recall as ongoing, which means it is still under investigation and being actively monitored. So, let's step back and understand why Listeria in cheese is so concerning. According to food safety experts, Listeria is unusual because it can continue to grow even under refrigerated conditions. Most bacteria slow down or stop multiplying in the cold, but Listeria is different. That means that cheese or deli meats, which are often stored in fridges for longer periods, can serve as a perfect environment for Listeria to spread. Mary O'Riordan, a professor of microbiology and immunology at the University of Michigan, explained that early symptoms of Listeria infection can look like other foodborne illnesses: fever, diarrhea, vomiting, which makes it difficult to diagnose right away. But in more severe cases, the infection spreads into the brain, causing meningitis and other dangerous conditions. Haley F. Oliver, a professor of food science at Purdue University, explained that Listeria is actually found in the natural environment, like in soil. That means contamination can start early in the food supply chain. Not everyone who eats contaminated food will necessarily get sick, but the risk increases dramatically for those with weaker immune systems. That includes newborns, elderly adults, and pregnant women. And unfortunately, the number of bacteria needed to trigger illness can vary, so even small exposures can sometimes cause major health consequences. The FDA has also warned that the symptoms of Listeria infections vary widely. In mild cases, people might just think they caught a stomach bug, with fever, nausea, muscle aches, and diarrhea lasting a few days. But in severe cases, symptoms escalate to stiff neck, confusion, convulsions, and balance problems. For pregnant women, there's the additional tragic risk of miscarriages or stillbirths. Because of this, Listeria is considered one of the most dangerous foodborne pathogens. The takeaway here is very straightforward. If you live in New York and purchased Brie Royal Faucon from Cheese Plate Brooklyn in Park Slope or Carroll Gardens between late July and mid-August, do not eat it. Check your fridge, check your receipts, and if you have this product, return it immediately. Food recalls happen often, but when the FDA issues a Class 1 risk warning, that's a signal for consumers to take it very seriously. Even though no illnesses have been reported so far, that can change quickly once people begin connecting their symptoms to this recall. Because Listeria infections can take time to manifest, it's possible we may still see cases in the coming days or weeks. That is why consumer awareness is so critical. If you or someone in your household has already consumed this cheese and begins experiencing symptoms like fever, nausea, muscle aches, or worse, neurological symptoms like stiff neck or confusion, seek medical attention immediately. Food safety is something we all rely on, and recalls like this are reminders of why it is so important to stay informed. At USA Recall Alerts, we're here to keep you updated on the latest recalls that matter for your health and safety. The best thing you can do right now is check your fridge, spread the word to anyone who may have purchased cheese from the affected stores, and make sure this product is not consumed. Stay safe, stay alert, and always keep an eye on the recalls that impact your community. This has been today's update on the Brie Royal Faucon cheese recall. Make sure to subscribe to USA Recall Alerts so you don't miss future updates about recalls that may affect you and your family. Until next time, take care and stay vigilant.